Hey, what's up guys, Totallydubbed here, and today I'm doing a review for the AOC D2769VH. This is an IPS LED monitor that is also a passive 3D monitor as well. It is a 27-inch 1080p monitor with 5 milliseconds G2G. It comes in around £230 and can be purchased from Amazon or AOC. Just look in the link in the description below and you'll see more information there for purchasing. Now this monitor for me was one of the first LED IPS monitors I've reviewed, and unfortunately I have to say it wasn't a pleasant experience. But more on that in just a little bit. I should just quickly explain what you actually get. In the box, you're going to get the monitor itself, you're going to get power cable, you're going to get a VGA cable, you're going to get one set of passive 3D glasses, and you're going to get a auxiliary 3.5mm cable and a software disc. In terms of the connections of the monitor, it is rather disappointing. You get two HDMI connections, which is brilliant, but you only get one VGA connection with no DVI input, and you've got one audio input and one audio output. So the big thing there for me is the fact that it lacks DVI. DVI for me is something that really should be essentially a standard. I know HDMI is taking over, but DVI is widely used and very much used by a lot of people with graphics cards. They tend not to use HDMI as much, and unfortunately this comes with no DVI input, and I think it's a major letdown in the inputs in input selection, despite the VGA cable actually coming with a DVI to VGA adapter. I have no idea why I didn't put DVI, but anyway, that is their choice. The build quality of this monitor is actually quite good. I really like it. It does tilt, as you can see, like so. However, pivoting everything like that is tilting, is pivoting the whole stand, and it doesn't pivot or anything like that either. The monitor itself is quite thin. It's quite hard to show you, but I guess I could just turn the monitor like this. It's quite a thin monitor, not super thin, but it's thin enough. At the back you've got a little bit extra spacing with some VESA mounts at the back as well. It has got sound output, and you can see I've got it selected. Well, hopefully you can see I've got it selected over there. The sound is quite tinny. It is nice, but it is quite tinny, so I'm just going to play some music. So as you can hear, the sound is a little bit tinny. It's really short preview because most probably my camera won't pick it up properly, but it is quite tinny and is a downward firing speaker. Moving on, we've got the little buttons which are placed over here and a little LED light over here. I do find the little buttons quite small and a little bit hard to press, which is a shame because I was using the OSD quite a lot, and unfortunately it's a little bit hard to navigate when you have to press a little bit harder and when you have to kind of angle your fingers kind of upwards to try and do that. So it's a little bit of a shame in that respect. It's nothing too groundbreaking, but it would have been better if they paid a little bit more attention to the little buttons over here. But the overall build quality is brilliant because of its looks as well. As you can see, it's got a reasonably thin bezel on the sides, and the overall look of the monitor is absolutely sensational. There's no surprise why, I'm not sure if it's this monitor or a similar monitor to this, which a similar design, won a couple of awards for designing, design awards. It is a really nicely designed monitor. But the picture quality is the main talking point of the monitor, and unfortunately it's not something that I was very much impressed by. I felt that the actual IPS panel itself was good at certain viewing angles, but with that said, its picture quality was slightly disappointing. Furthermore, the colors were a little bit washed out, and that was after tinkering around with the OSD and setting up the color profiles and everything like that. I felt the colors let it down a little bit. This could also be down to the fact that the 1080p is being stretched over a 27-inch monitor, which to me is not really well suited. It just feels like everything is kind of stretched out, and therefore everything looks really big on your screen. As I'm used to a 1440p monitor at 27 inches now, a 1080p monitor at this, a this quality is a little bit disappointing. But the colors are decent. I'm not saying that they're bad, but they could have been better. It just seems they're a little bit washed out, a little bit too bluish. Speaking about colors, there is the blacks of the panel are decent, and that is because of a kind of glass coated front that it's got over here. You might be able to see it and you might not, I'm not sure, but I'm just trying to wave around at the back of the monitor so that you can see the actual reflection. As it is a glass panel, there's a lot of reflection when there's light shining in it. You can't really see it, I'm just trying to shake around, but anyway, what I can see with my own eyes is I can see my whole room in the background of this actual picture, simply because of the glare that's coming in from my window, the light's reflecting, and I can see everything at the back. So you should bear that in mind when it comes to buying this monitor, or if you buy this monitor, that if you're going to be placing it somewhere where it's sunny, then you're going to have problems with a lot of glare. There's one of the monitors that's, you know, it benefits from having a glass panel, or glass looking panel for better black reproduction, but it does suffer from having that glare, so do bear that in mind. Now the actual 3D content, the reason why you're actually going to be paying more than your average monitor for a 3D monitor. Is it worth getting a 3D monitor, and what are my opinions about it? Well, I was actually very much disappointed with 3D content, or should I say the content that was being displayed to me. There's two reasons behind this. One of them because it is a passive monitor, and therefore there's not much which is going to be jumping out to you, it's more of a depth. And secondly, just because of how it actually handles it. I must say I have never ever had problems with 3D content. With TVs, with films, with handheld devices like 3DSs, things like that. Never had a problem with 3D content. It's never given me a headache or anything like this. This is very much the first 3D experience that I've had where I've actually had a problem with the content. I could not play Battlefield 4 for more than 10 minutes using this monitor and the glasses, because it was just simply gave me a splitting headache, which I was like, well, this is just too much. I can't handle this. I don't want to view this content. The 3D content itself wasn't that bad, but when it came to Windows browsing and text, it was absolutely horrid. But looking at pictures, there was a slight improvement, but then when you looked at movies and games, you saw better depth, and you saw the reason why you have a 3D monitor. But that said, is it something that I was really excited about? Not really. It's not something that really jumped out to me. Pun intended. It's not something that really jumped out to me, and it's not something that I really thought, oh, I definitely need 3D now. It's something that I felt, well, it's nice, but it's nothing special. And because of that, I really don't feel that this monitor does 3D amazingly. Let's put it that way. One, because of its colors and the actual IPS panel, and secondly because of the 3D mode that's activated doesn't really engage me in 3D content when it does a 2D to 3D conversion. Even 3D content which was being played through here didn't feel like anything special. So overall, this monitor was a big disappointment for me, both in terms of panel and in terms of the actual 3D usage. I thought there was something wrong with the panel at first, and I actually got a second one in, this is the second one in. And no, there really wasn't anything wrong with the first panel, it was really just the fact that how the monitor handles the 3D. And I've played around with all the settings in the OSD, which you can find over here, you can play around with, but I really couldn't, my eyes just couldn't handle this 3D content that was being thrown at me, and furthermore, it wasn't that impressive to make me go out and buy it. But overall, just if you're looking for a reasonably priced IPS 27-inch 3D monitor, I guess this could be for you. But in all honesty, if you're not going to look for 3D content, then just buy a non-3D AOC monitor, and it's absolutely brilliant as it is. Or if you want a 27-inch, you can go for 1440p and get a nice QNX monitor or something like that. So overall, thumbs down from me, a 2 or 3 out of 5 review. I can't give it anything more because I really didn't like it. I think a 2 out of 5 is more appropriate in terms of my overall experience and my thoughts about it. But anyway guys, hopefully you've enjoyed this video. If you have, make sure you give it a like for the continuing of honest reviews that you rarely get in the internet these days. Make sure you subscribe for more honest reviews and content, and make sure you share and favorite this video, as it always helps. Alright guys, well, I've been Totally Dubbed, and hopefully you've enjoyed this video. Take care guys, bye bye.